So, what movie are you most looking forward to this summer?
Definitely Kick-Ass 2. Definitely excited to see how that's gonna go.
Awesome. And you, Matt?
Maybe Man of Steel, if it's any better than the last one.
Hopefully it's better.
Just saying.
I have a feeling this is going to be the most awesome answer ever, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Superman fan. Excuse me, sir. What movie are you most looking forward to this summer?
That's left, Man of Steel.
That is a sweet guy. Enough said. What's up, kid? What movie are you most looking forward to coming out this summer?
Despicable Me too.
Ooh, Pharrell's on the soundtrack. Excuse me, sir. What movie are you most looking forward to coming out this summer?
Pacific Rim! I did it anyway.
What's up, guys? Our group discussion for this week is going to be the classic Marvel Civil War. Basically, me and my buddies here, we're going to debate both sides of the story. My buddy Willie, me and him are going to be taking the side of Cap. Jacob and Quinn, they're going to be taking the side of Tony. But first thing we need to do is to get into how all this came about. So Willie, why don't you fill the viewers in about how this happened?
The Civil War started by the New Warriors. The New Warriors were doing bounty hunting at the time. They were doing a reality show. They came along, they found Nitro and a gang of other supervillains that I think just Marvel just threw in there. They was just like D-list supervillains. They started fighting. Long story short, they ended up at a schoolyard in Stamford, Connecticut. Namorita went after Nitro. Nitro blew up. If you don't know his power, Nitro can blow himself up and reabsorb himself. So basically, after that, he killed I can't remember how many people he killed in Stanford. Quinn, how many did he kill in Stanford?
He killed a couple thousand.
Basically, long story short, he killed children. They killed children because they were just sloppy, and then it was an unorganized mess, like the way I'm talking right now. But then Tony saw that, and he felt the need to change the laws and make superheroes be registered.
And that brings us to the point that we're at now about whose side do you agree on. So Quinn, why don't you give us a little bit of Iron Man side, basically about what Tony's talking about. Why do Tony basically feel that this Registration Act is good?
Alright, well, basically Tony Stark is all about, he's always been out about his identity. He just feels that superheroes not only should be compensated for their risk-taking in their everyday life, but to benefit everyone. Of course, people like Captain America believe that some people have identities for a reason. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jacob.
Heroes can be as deadly as villains. The fact that Tony Stark wants everybody to know who heroes are isn't a problem. Most of these guys are super powered and skilled. Not many of them have families, so what are they trying to protect but their own asses, in a sense of talking. So for me, any superhero that wouldn't comply to that has something to hide.
But then again, we do have things like SpiderMan that does have an Aunt May, Mary Jane, people that he does love in his life.
First of all, Spider-Man is a real person. Spider-Man got problems. Spider-Man, like Quinn said, got to take care of Aunt May. Spider-Man got to go to school. Spider-Man got to go to work. Spider-Man got to pay rent. Spider-Man's homeless at the time in the damn comics sometimes. I mean, people forget that Spider-Man actually has real problems. One of the reasons why people relate to him a lot. And there's a lot of superheroes out there like Spider-Man that do put themselves at risk in a lot. So the Registration Act would not be good for a character like a Spider-Man.
Well, shouldn't they be compensated for that risk? Don't they want something for the government? It'd be like welfare for superheroes. Which you wouldn't mind because they're not sitting on their ass, they actually earn it.
That is true.
Like, the fact that Peter Parker is poor adds to the plight of why they need to know. And like you said, other people you named two. If he can't protect two people who he always has to protect anyway, he's not much of a hero, which isn't true about him.
I don't think a hero should be compensated for his job. When you're a hero, you know what I'm saying, you go out saving people because you want to do this. Like, it's basically then it becomes a job. You don't want to do it. You don't want to have a job.
But that's the
thing.
What I'm saying? They're not compensating the hero. Like he said, Spider-Man ain't getting paid. Peter Parker is. Peter Parker needs money. Spider-Man doesn't. He's not doing it for money. But hey, it's kind of hard to save the world if you're starving.
Right, and on the other side of the fence is what wins wars but soldiers and ideals. The ideals are there, but it's about the soldiers, and they are there not only to protect, but they are being compensated as well by their government.
Then we go into the whole thing about the government, about being compensated. But what happens when they get injured, blah, blah, blah. You got people like Daredevil. What's he going to do in the front line? It took him years before he joined the new Avengers because he couldn't have all the noise around. So imagine him on the front lines with Tony Stark fighting alien threats. He would die instantly. He would die instantly.
So we're okay with sending them off to die anyway because they're heroes, and we're okay with them making that sacrifice. But when they team up and they've already got problems, now we're got a problem with it? No. How about them dying of hunger?
Well, first of all, guys, the word I keep hearing come up a lot is hero. So I just took the liberty to look up the definition of a hero. A hero is a person who performs extraordinary deeds for the benefit of others.
Of others.
Of others.
Not oneself, others. And that goes to the whole thing with Peter Parker and his Uncle Ben put in him. Great power comes great responsibility. I didn't like how they portrayed Spider-Man in the story at all. I thought it was very much out of character for him, especially in the middle part of the book when he actually showed himself to the public. When I first saw it, my heart dropped. I was like, that's not Spider-Man. That's not the Spider-Man that I grew up with. You know.
But on the other side of the fence, the reasons why he did that was to protect the ones that he loved, and that's what Tony was about.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Punisher. Is he someone doing this to protect the world? Yes, you can say maybe he is killing all these villains and all these evil people because he's trying to make the world a better place. In some twisted definition, he is. But let's face this. He's a murderer. Wolverine, under all the sadness and drama of his life, is a murderer.
But see, that's the funniest thing though about it though, is that because then you come back to our side and you got people like Daredevil, a blind guy that dresses up and go and fight crime. You know why? Because everybody knew who Daredevil was. Half his cases would probably get thrown out of court.
And everybody that he litigated against, it would be crazy because supervillains be out of jail because he revealed himself.
But then at the same time, you had people like my girl Jennifer, She-Hulk, who has no problem being out there. So, I guess in the long run, the situation is different for
What the
each hero.
situation comes down to is how close is the hero and the hero's identity. Like you said earlier, Tony Stark is out there. Everyone knows who Tony Stark is. So for him, this act is a good idea. But because no one knows who Spider-Man is, and he has 2 to 3 people to protect in his life, there's a problem. Like, there are multiple heroes out. The Punisher is not hiding. Everyone knows who Frank Castle is. No one's crazy enough to mess with him because the Punisher will kill you.
Well, technically, you can't really say that either because everybody knows who the X-Men is, and they get a lot of problems just by people knowing who they are.
Yes, but they don't get problems because people know who they are. They get problems because they're mutants.
Yeah, that's part of it, but at the same time, people know that.
Matter of fact, people knowing who they are makes them more untouchable. Like, I know that's Logan, meaning I know that's Wolverine. I'm not going anywhere near that guy. His body count is high. He's been in a lot of wars.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right.
And Logan was a friend of Cap.
So for me, it's the case like, you big, you bad, you a hero. Why can't I know who you are? What am I gonna do? The only person who could potentially hurt you is the villains. But if you're standing as one front, like Tony Stark wants, you all together, registered, if you're standing as one front, there will be no villain to come against you. Think about it like this. Whenever you read a comic book, whenever you watch a cartoon, one superhero has at least 10 villains. So they're already outnumbered. Superheroes joining together and getting registered, knowing who each other is, and networking, that's probably the best thing that could possibly happen.
Right, and that goes back to the whole thing about ideals.
I have an example of a situation where someone revealed themselves and they didn't want to reveal themselves. In one of the early issues of New Warriors, a character by the name of Rage, he was outed by someone else. A gang member found out about who he was, outed him. They blew up his grandmother's house. The only person in the world he ever cared about that he kept safe for years, and they killed his grandmother. That's my only issue, and that's why I was so against it, because along the same lines as Spider-Man, it's still, no matter how many people it is that you want to protect, it could be 1, it could be 20. You still want to save the person that you care about. So,
But
I took that to heart because he was a black superhero, and I love black superheroes.
Oh yeah, of course. We represent our black superheroes.
It hurt when I first read the book as a kid. It hurt me because I was like, wow. What if that was my grandmother and somebody outed me?
But
what if someone killed my brother?
That's not a hero. A hero doesn't go, yeah, I mean, I'm going to save all these people. If I lose some people, it's going to hurt. But if I lose my grandmother, because it's selfless. So if you're thinking about what's mine, a hero has to be like thinking of other people at all times. But if he's focusing on the other people who are close to him more, then he's lessened as a hero.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
I don't agree with that either. Just for the simple fact is that you can't proud for somebody for caring about somebody else more in life, because everybody in their life cares about another person.
Yeah, everybody's
on different levels.
Yes, everybody cares about a person, but when you put on the first of all, you put that person in danger the moment you put on a mask and say, I want to save people, I want to stop crime.
The perfect example of that, going out the Marvel Universe, is Superman. Superman said himself, even Superman can't be everywhere at once. You saw what happened to Superman in the comics when like Lois or his parents died. He goes crazy. He is Clark Kent to protect the people he care about the most.
Now here I have to pose this question. I don't know if this exactly was followed up with in Civil War, is what if they could be compensated with their troubles and get some kind of protection in place for the people that they care about?
I don't know. We talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. though. S.H.I.E.L.D. really ain't protecting nothing though. If you think about it, as much stuff that went down.
But we also see it in the view of other heroes. How do we see that in every day? Do you think S.H.I.E.L.D. more often than not saves the day, but under the nose of the heroes?
S.H.I.E.L.D. does some of the dirty work that the heroes don't do.
Yeah,
not to mention, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't successfully protect anybody because they spend all their time looking for all the heroes. If all the heroes were a united front and registered, that would save S.H.I.E.L.D. so much that they could cut a whole division and put that division to protecting the family of heroes.
I guess.
I guess.
The whole thing about that, I was like, after Spider-Man outed himself, what was the next thing he did? He put Aunt May in the Avengers Tower, and that was it. And Avengers Tower still got attacked by people. So what? At the end of the day, how did that even help anything?
Well,
and it's supposed to be protected.
It's not going to get attacked just because Aunt May. It's going to get attacked because it's Avengers Tower.
I don't know.
But he put his own. It's supposed to be. I'm sorry.
I mean, even if they are targeting her specifically, someone is going to target Avengers Tower. You put on the cape, you put on a mask, you are going to be targeted. You've already put your family in danger. Outing yourself and getting protection for them and joining up with other heroes, I don't feel like that's putting you in more danger.
Oh, that's why I definitely disagree with you. I feel like if you out yourself, you definitely put everybody you care about in way more danger.
With every villain that you gonna put in jail.
That's just like saying...
Because kind of going off what you guys are saying is, what can hurt the worst than hitting the heart? Metaphorically or physically.
Yeah.
And you can call me selfish if you want to. I couldn't imagine... I couldn't imagine being a superhero and I'm coming home and I find my children dead.
Oh, you can imagine.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can imagine it, but I couldn't just coming home seeing that because I outed myself.
Frank Castle didn't have to out himself, and that's already what happened to him. Spider-Man firsthand saw his uncle killed. A lot of heroes have no one. Daredevil. Like, these are loners in a sense, and the groups of people are groups, and they're usually all powered.
Well, I just gave an example about how Daredevil actually has people. He actually had clients who take care of us. He actually go on superhero missions to find the evidence for his clients. But basically, it seems like we both actually have our separate agreements about this topic. I feel like we should wrap this up with our final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Kind of going back to the book itself, I honestly think this book really does spark debate, no matter what community of comic book nerds you have. I feel like everyone can take either both sides or one or the other. This book definitely sparked a lot of controversy, even to this day. So, with that, I guess our closing question is, what do you think about this
My statement: heroes don't hide, villains do.
Willie?
I think you have to hide yourself sometimes. Everybody has to have a mask. You can't go out in public. You can't be yourself all the time. You have to hide a part of yourself, and I think that's what these heroes are doing, because the heroes are actually being themselves, but when they out of the costume, they're someone else. That's just me. I'm sorry.
And my last thought is this. Just like I said earlier, even Superman can't be everywhere at once. And what's the point of being a hero if you can't protect the ones you love the most? So guys, let us know what you thought about our debate. Give us your input. Leave us what you thought at the bottom in the comments.
And that's
That's what Darryl K says.